Barbers Arms, episode 30 in what is the lockdown sequel to. Hope you all enjoyed last week's episode. Thank you to the 80-odd thousand people that viewed us last week. Tonight's show coming up around about 8 p.m. Round about now, actually. We've got Cyan Gaz's news desk, which will take us up to all the news that's been happening this week. 8:20, we've changed our diary around a little bit tonight. We've got our local heroes, which is Paul Wilkinson and Boo Ainley from Barnsley, my hometown. Looking forward to both of them. Were my barbers when I was growing up, actually. Around about 8:45, we've got Gaz's cocktail, which we're really looking forward to as well tonight, Gaz. And then around about 9 p.m, we've got Nick Erosio from Nick Arrojo in New York City. And then me and Gaz, I'll take you up to closing time. Without further ado, please welcome my co-host, Mr. Gary Machin.
How are we, sir? You well?
I'm very well, Gaz. Thank you. How are you?
It's just a technical hitch there. I just had to unmute myself, so sorry about that, mate. You had a good week? Everything good?
Busy week this week. It seems to have flown a little bit. I loved your daily arms today from your hot tub. That looked nice.
Well, we've got a new look show, haven't we? We've got our daily vlogs, and you know everybody's noticed that we've gone on to a new format on the front. So bigger and better. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun, aren't we, on our daily vlogs? We aren't taking it too serious, trying to get a message out there and just have a little bit of fun with folk, you know. So what are you drinking tonight anyway?
We're having a nice little Desperado to start off with, which is a bit like Valium, which is really good.
I'm on the Newcastle Brown special as usual. Which
is nice. It's funny today. Believe it or not, the dry cleaners are still open. I don't know how they become essential workers, but I was just outside the dry cleaners today, and an old schoolmate of mine passing went, "I love your daily videos. I love your daily blogs and vlogs that you're doing." And I'm like, he's not even a barber or an hairdresser, so that's really good that people are watching. I know there's a lot of people watching from Barnsley tonight because we've got two legends on from Barnsley, my hometown, tonight. So I'm really looking forward to interviewing these two. It's been a funny week, actually, trying to get them geared up, both on Androids. I heard a quote this week, Gary, which was the funniest thing that I've ever heard, which was that one of them said to me, "You're going to have to really help me because I'm as thick as a submarine door." And I've been using it all week. And another beauty I've got for everybody. I was in a really important meeting and somebody says, "It's really well presented." Somebody piped up, said, "So is Blue Peter." Classics. Absolute classics.
They always stick with you, don't they, though? When you hear something like that, those one-liners, I absolutely, you know, you can pinch them as well, but I absolutely love it anyway. My week this week's been a bit of a strange one. Been up and down a bit. We've been doing our vlog as everybody's been seeing, but I've had the laziest day today I've had in my probably working life. I've done absolutely nothing. Well, other than a couple of meetings, a few phone calls, but I've done no jobs in the house, no jobs at work. I've done the blog from the top tub. So I've been looking forward to a drink. I've had to stay off the drink just on purpose, so I wasn't slaughtered tonight. I could have got on it about 2 o'clock today, to be honest. Lovely sunny day in Staffordshire today, so it was hard work. Stay off it. Felt like you today.
What do you mean? I'm always busy. I'm always on phone calls and Zooms and Teams calls and that. I'm a new Teams and Zoom expert. It's a fucking nightmare, to be fair. I've got to say, last week, thanks to everybody that viewed into us last week, guys. Amazing. Loved being there. I thought Keith Coniford, from the Chief Registrar from the CEO of the Hair and Barbering Council, was an absolute superb guest. And the timing of him coming on was superb as well in terms of what we're going through. I don't know about everybody else, but I don't know if this week has flown for everybody else out there. I know you're all knackered when it got to Thursday, when you were on your first day off. And I spoke to a few people like yourself, Gaz. I think people felt probably by about Saturday, they were a bit bored and they felt a bit peed off about what had happened again. And then I think this week it has flown a bit. And today, guys, I want to tell you all that it's 21 days before you open back up. So hopefully that mine and Gaz's daily blogs have worked. Tune into a little bit of stuff. Gary, you said today, after first lockdown, you never stopped. And today's first one. Does it feel different to you?
Well, to be honest, I did so much in the first lockdown. It was like I was pinching time off somebody. I was, you know, I was brassed off that we were. It was funny last time, wasn't it? Because we had a start date and a finish date. A start date, but not a finish date. This time, with a bit of luck, and I hope we don't go like Northern Ireland. You know, my heart goes out to them. But you know, we're all working towards, straight from the word go. We're all working towards the 3rd of December. Now, whether that comes off or not, but psychologically, it's kind of changed my outlook, because before I was, right, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done. We're going to be back in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. And then we ended up being off for 15 weeks. Now, if somebody said to me, 15 weeks you're going to have off, I'd have taken it a little bit easier probably. But I had so many jobs to catch up on that I, you know, probably overdid it a little bit in the last lockdown. Still got things to do on this side. We're working on education. I'm working with Jackie and Trevor on the BB education very hard, and we're going to nail that while we're off. But I think from a personal point of view, it feels different in the way that I don't feel like anybody's off except us. I feel like I'm in this little twilight zone, really, like you just said. Since when has dry cleaning become an essential trade, like kind of thing?
I've seen somewhere else as well that were open. You know, like the photograph places where you can get your photos printed. Somebody, I think it was Sean Dawson, had put on that Snappy Snaps were open. He'd lost the will to live. I'm saying there, why is that an essential to go get your photographs printed?
Well, from a lockdown point of view, I thought if it was going to do anything, I mean, we went over this last week, so I'm not going to labour the point, but I just filled in the forms you have to fill in for the grant, and it changed dramatically. And I'm going to share this with viewers. They are available at the moment. Stafford's just gone live. That went yesterday. And when you fill in the form now to claim this, they want your inside leg, literally. They aren't just throwing it out like they did before. You know, the 10 grand here, 10 grand there. Everybody had it, no matter what your situation. Now it's purely and simply for sectors that have been locked down, that are forced to close. And it made me laugh because on the form for Staffordshire, I don't know if everybody else is the same, there's only 5 things on there, and 3 of them are related. There was hospitality, B&Bs, hotels, which to me are all the same. They are hospitality. Then non-essential retail, and then us, close contact. So tattooists, hairdressing, barbering, beauty. And I thought, and it said you aren't on this list, you cannot claim. And I thought, is that it? Is that all that's got? You know what I mean? I just found it quite unbelievable. So, from my point of view, I mean, even florists are open. So, phone shops, I just don't get it at all.
You've just gone through Rachel's. You've just gone through things there for tomorrow, haven't you?
I've got sometimes. I am so organised, but yeah, I'm not. It's Rachel's birthday. She isn't here actually. She's just gone pick Millie up from one of her friends. She picked her up for us from school, and she's in her bubble, so she's just gone stand outside and pick her up. But she's just said, "What are you going to do without me? I'm not going to be able to fetch and carry for you." I said, "You'll be back for the drink time anyway." But while she isn't here, while she isn't watching, it is her birthday on Sunday, and as I said earlier, we just got to go out, run around, and get a few bits for her. So we'll see.
Well, look, I'm sure you're going to have a nice weekend with us anyway. Guys, we've got lots of things to talk about tonight. We've got some great guests on tonight. I'd be really interested to find out the fallout from America in New York City, trying to find out what's happened since the elections and the Biden presidential win. So that's going to be coming up here on Barbers Arms around about 9 o'clock. And then around about 20 past 8, guys, you're going to love this tonight. The two barbers who I used to go when I had long hair, or a footballer, I had all this long hair. Both these barbers used to cut my hair. And I think between their two shops, they've got something like 110 years that they've been open. And they don't look it, to be fair, because they look absolutely fantastic, pair of them, for 67-year-old and 61-year-old. They look absolutely superb. So hopefully that me and you look the same when we're their age.
Well, I don't know these two fellas, so we'll see what they look like when they're on screen with us. I mean, I don't know their age. I know you give me a roundabout. I know they used to cut your hair when you had hair. So that could be anything, couldn't it? I mean, I've never known you with hair properly. So it's, it could be a ballpark figure, I think. So I know.
I'm sure the name drops sometimes as well, you know.
Do you think? What?
Well, trust me tonight, they will keep my feet firmly on the ground. Trust me on that one.
I thought you were going to say they know Gary Machin.
They can't wait to meet you, mate. Honestly, all week, am I going to get to speak to Gary? Fuck Gary, what about me? So they're coming up in 5 minutes. Guys, if you want to follow me and Gaz as well, on our Instagram, it's Simon Shaw Wahl. Gaz is the British Barber, and Barbers Arms, Barbers_Arms on our Instagram accounts, on our website. And we've already had 300 podcast download. We've had 4 million views, which is absolutely unbelievable. This has made it the #1 lockdown show in first time, second time, and now it's the #1 show in British barbering and British hairdressing. It's unbelievable. Not only that, we've got millions of fans all across the globe as well, so it's unbelievable. On the website is thebarbersarms.co.uk, and if you want to email us, it's barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. Also, as well, new feature that you've seen this last week is mine and Gaz's daily arms. I think we tried to top each other. He went for a walk on Saturday. I climbed Black Rock on Sunday. Oh my God, Gaz! I got to the top. I don't like heights, and literally there's no barriers. When people are standing on edge, I'm going, oh, it's stressing me out. There's kids running about. The fucking drops them. It's like being at the top of Everest. But I got to the top and I'm like ready to do a video. And it took me about 20 minutes to get sweat off me, get me breath together. Before I could do a video. I couldn't believe I did it, but I thought I'd top you. But after saying that, you went to your pub, you had your Newcastle Brown and your favourite doggy with you, and then you topped me today with your hot tub thing. So I'm trying to come up with some things tomorrow that can top you, and maybe it's something like an hangover remedy very early doors for everybody to really impress you all. What I'll get up to on a Saturday. Well,
honestly, if you feel like anything like I did last Saturday, you'll be struggling. But to be honest, I said this to you last week. I drunk quite a bit. We had a call with Jackie and Ross after the arms last week, and I carried
Dangerous.
on. I know. It's Ross's fault. It's talking kilts and all that. You know what I mean? It's I got in a bit of a mess, to be honest. When Rachel told me what we were talking about, I thought, oh, that's one I want to relive. So, but as long as I found now, as long as I have my sleep, I can drink as much as I want. As long as I get them, 6-8 hours sleep. If I'm in bed by 12-1, I'm all right next day. It's if I start carrying on and doing middle of the night job, you know what I mean? That's when I feel a bit rough. So.
It really hurts me to say this and it's only because of the way that they treat us. And I've said it when we've had Scottish people on before. Whenever Scotland are in a tournament, I support them. Ireland, Wales, as long as I'm not playing England, I still want to win every game, barring against England. But the Scottish are the worst in the world. They want Macedonia to win, and they want Kiwi Island to win. They want everybody to beat us. But I have to say to everybody in Scotland, congratulations to getting to your first major tournament for so many years. I'm sure you're going to like that. I hope the fans are allowed back in. I think the Tartan Army going anywhere to watch these games is going to be a fantastic experience for everybody. Like when Wales got to Euros a couple of years ago, got right at semis. I think Scotland should hopefully do well. And I'm hoping that they're in England's group, so it's a good 3 points for England.
Well, you know, I was going to bring exactly the same thing up. I mean, congrats to them all, and you know, like you say, I always pull for them if we're out of a tournament or if we're not in there. So we've got a lot of people in Scotland who we love. You know, a lot of good friends up there. So and they're great people. I really like, you know, the Scottish guys up there. They're fantastic folks. So fair play to them. At least they got something to look forward to now on these grim days. So great. I think we've nearly got our guests ready, haven't we? Are they just pulling into the car park?
They're pulling into the car park, which, guys, just to let you all know, because this is really weird. A lot of you think that me and Gaz are in bars, but we are actually in the virtual Barbers Downs bars. So there's no social distancing, breaking rules. We're not breaking any rules by being in somebody's bar on a lockdown. But here we go. I think we've got Boo Ainley in the house, and I think we're just waiting for Paul Wilkinson, if he's in.
How are we, Boo?
They're pulling into the car park, which, guys, just to let you all know, Boo, are you there?
I'm here, Simon. Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Boo, if you can turn your camera around so it's landscape, just turn it around. That's it. Perfect.
How's that, buddy? All right, Mark? Gary?
Yeah, great, Boo. Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Very good.
We're
Nice.
waiting for Wilkie to join us.
Come on, boss.
Oh, yeah, Gary, I didn't tell you that Paul Wilkinson trained Boo before he went off and got his own shop. So there's a nice little story to join in here when Paul gets his audio on. Well,
Hey, Boo.
While Paul's waiting to get us on. Yes, go on, carry on, Gaz.
Simon, you're always late.
You're looking great, Boo. He told me you were a lot older than what you look. I thought you were our age.
I'm 82, Gary.
You're looking good, mate. Are you having a drink with us tonight?
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Yes, I've had a couple of beers already, just to calm nerves a little bit. I've got a nice bottle of Merlot here.
Oh, very
nice.
Good. Well, cheers to that, mate. All the very best.
Yeah, same as.
Have a fantastic...
Dito, pal. 550 from the co-op.
Nice.
Eh?
Nice. There's no wrong with a bit of Barnsley co-op.
No, happy days, mate. Are we still waiting for my boss?
You're still waiting for your boss. He's still waiting to join in, Mr. Wilkinson. I think he, if you can hear us, Paul, you're on mute, but I think you need to press your audio to get us on there.
While we're waiting for Paul, we've got a lot of our usual guests who are watching. So we've got David Gray, Mark Walters, we've got Vagabonds Barbers. Welcome to everybody.
You're still waiting for your boss.
Yeah. Here.
The boss is on. The boss is on. Wilkie, are you there?
I am. Well, I can see myself.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening. How are we doing? All right.
Hey, yo.
I'm smashing, yeah. I can't see anybody else.
Paul,
yeah?
have you checked your hair in the screen? I just noticed you were just touching up then as we come on. You all right?
I know. Well, I've got to make sure it's okay. I can't get an haircut.
Hey, Wilkie, have you been to Mr. Wayne's for your shirt tonight?
No. Marks and Spencer's, I think. I'm in age group now with the Marks and Spencer's.
Listen, he teed me up for that earlier. Mr. Ainley teed me up for that one. Now, listen, guys, just to let all our viewers know, and again, thanks to everybody, over 80,000 of you viewed, 4 million views so far over lockdown, making this the #1 hairdressing and barbering show. I am so honoured and privileged to have not only 2 fantastic barbers over the years, 2 of my personal barbers, who when I had hair and I was a kid growing up with my dad, going into shops, Mr. Paul Wilkinson and Mr. Boo Ainley, who has, Paul's got Paul Wilkinson in Barnsley, and Boo is now not hairdressing and barbering anymore, but his son and his ex-partner, Smooth, they run croppers in Barnsley. We're going to talk a little bit about the old days, and then we're going to fetch you up to where and what you're doing right now, if that's okay. Now, I know you're both starstruck with Gaz. All I've heard this week, Gaz, is, will I be speaking to Gaz? Is Gaz going to be on? What about me?
Simon is more handsome than you, mate.
Oh,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You do realise, Boo, when we've got our production team, they take all the best bits or all the bloopers out of all these shows. That's going to feature heavily. All these things that you're saying now are going to be played over and over and over again. So just keep them coming, and we just want to know all about him. Just don't hold anything back.
Will do, Gary. Will do, mate.
He's priming the production team to use that. Starting off, Wilkie.
Yeah.
First of all, as a young kid, maybe as early as I can remember, from going down Ormond Lane and having my hair cut down at Mad Mix or at Malk's, and then coming into town and having my hair cut at Wilkinson's, which at that point was the #1 place. I spoke to my dad today, and he said it was the busiest place you'd ever gone. And I know we're going to talk about that you trained Boo as well, but Wilkie, just give us a couple of minutes bio of Wilkinson's barbershop in Barnsley been going.
Well, in family, my dad first went to do that shop at Regent Street South in, I think, December 1950, 51. So we've been there in family since 1969, really. And then I started working for my brother, Alan, when I left school in 1969.
Wow. That was a good year, that was, Paul. That was the year I was born.
Oh, good.
He's a lot older than me, Paul and Boo. So I'm glad he just got that in there, as you can see.
Good man. Yeah.
So, Paul, obviously, and I'm gonna say this to you, Paul, because you're such an humble guy, and every time I get into Barnsley now and again, and I walk past your shop, I always like wave at you. But you're such an humble guy. But you know the amount of barbers that you've trained that have now got their own barber shops in Barnsley, and obviously Boo's one of them as well, who's done fantastic at Croppers. You must feel a sense of, you must be proud of, you know, I know at the time when they took a bit of business, but then you must be proud though when you look at all the barbers that you've trained.
It's since you got in touch with me, you know, right? You start thinking about it, you realise how many people's gone through your shop, and luckily there's a lot gone on to start their own businesses up, and a lot still going, you know, which is great, and then suddenly getting a pen and paper and putting it down and to see how many people have and worked for me, you know, right? You suddenly think, dear me. A lot of them, you know, packed in hairdressing and went into other professions and that. But the hell of a lot still keep on going. So I think, you know, having a quick look through it, it's over 30 people that we trained up, you know, or later on when they went to college and then came into the shop. But like Boo started from school and started like me. You know, you stood at the back of the chair and watched other people. And then as you gradually got put, you learned off each other. And it's one of them jobs you never stop learning, I think.
I think
Boo, sorry guys, go on.
I think that's really important as well, Paul. You know, people don't realise it's not just a vocation. You bring the job and you give a career to such a lot of people, and you're part of the community as well. I mean, I know how highly Simon spoke of you two guys, you know, with fondness and utmost respect professionally as well. You can't buy that, can you? You know what I mean? When you've been in an area and you've stayed in that area, you've stayed loyal to the area, you're part of the, you know, the part of the community. I think that says a lot about the type of people you are, but also your commitment to the job, the trade, and to your area, you know. And we're very similar. My dad was in it, his uncle was in it. You know, we come from a long line of barbers. My brothers are in it. My son's in it now. You know, it's that commitment. I love it. I love that, you know, that camaraderie that he brings to the job as well. So, you know, from Boo's point of view as well, you know, you meet a lot of people that you would never ever have bumped into in any other job, would you? You know, so it's great to. I love to see the stories of old barbers. It's great.
Yeah, it's marvelous.
Do you know what as well, guys? You know, when you're growing up, as you come in, start going out, and you start going. I used to love going to working men's club, listening to my granddad, I love listening to old stories. And this week, speaking to Paul and speaking to Boo's come up with some real crackers this week. But moving on to Boo, you started your career at Wilkinson's, and then within about 6-7 years, you decided to go off and open Croppers on Wellington Street. How long has Croppers been going?
Oh, we started in 82, me and Smooth, yeah. But getting back to Paul, I started in 75 as a kid from school. Left school on Friday, started work on Monday. Yeah, and I can't remember ever in the 7 years ever having to sit down. We were non-stop, man. And at one point, there was his father, Charlie.
Yeah,
Jen.
Paul, Gaffer, me, a kid called Graham Marshall.
Yeah.
Then we took on a kid called Steve Govia.
Yeah, still going. Yeah.
Dean Porter. Then
Yeah.
I think we had a kid called Andy Moody.
Yeah.
He didn't stay too long, and then we fetched Smooth in, young Smooth.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. 600-700-inch shot. We never had to sit down.
No,
Paul.
it was a good time, Bo, wasn't it?
Paul, it was a brilliant shot. Happy
Oh,
days.
great to work there, you know, right? I loved it, you know, right? And
Never forget.
yeah.
Did you have some, Bo, what's, just going back, just for our viewers as well, especially there's a lot of people tuning in from Barnsley tonight, even non-barbers. Give me a funny story while you were growing up at Wilkie's and Paul were training you and Charlie had come in and them old days. Give us a funny story that you can remember.
I'll tell you when I realised that barbering was going to be the job for me. I think I'd only been there a couple of months. And Paul said to me, because he was massive into his music. And at the time, don't take this wrong way, Wilkie, boss, whatever.
I don't know what you're going to say. Go on.
He loved the Carpenters. No, come on, boss, you did. Simon, he gave me the keys for his car and he says, I've got a Datsun. It's in the courthouse car park. So he says, in the car will be an 8-track. Can you remember the 8-track?
Yeah.
Great big dirty thing. And they were the music system of the time.
Yeah.
He says, you'll find in there a Carpenter's 8-track. Well, I'm looking for this 180B, 120Y. Simon, it was a 240Z. Honestly, he was only 21. He was 21 years of age and he had a supercar. I thought, this is the job for me. 21-year-old, he was one of the richest kids in Barnsley. Unbelievable.
Oh, dear.
I wish I was. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can you remember that, Paul?
I can, yeah. I can't remember
Are you still playing the Carpenters?
No, not so much. I must admit there is a couple of songs on my playlist, you know, right?
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget
Spotify,
seeing that car of yours. Absolutely brilliant.
Hey, listen, guys, we'll translate for you in a bit because we're all in this Barnsley twang a minute. It's like a fucking scene from Kes.
No, do you know what? I've travelled so much now. You tune your ear to it, and I've listened to you too much when you're drunk as well. So I'm all right. I'm fine. I can catch every word. I can.
Gary, 1976, the Queen came to town. And at bottom of Regent Street South, it were all fenced off. Yeah. So I'm only a kid. I'm only just into it. Charlie and Paul both wanted to go down to the front to the fence to see the Queen and wave to her. So he says to me, Paul, he says, look after the shop. I'm not even cutting by this time. Yeah. A guy comes in the shop. He says, is anybody cutting? I said, get in chair, mate. So I get sitting in the chair. Paul comes back and Charlie comes back and I'm cutting this guy's hair. Can you remember that, Paul?
Yeah. Well, vaguely. I know. I tell you what, you and Matt, especially when you started, you picked it up so quick. It was unbelievable. You know, so it seemed as though you didn't take any training at all. You know, you're straight in.
And he were good as well. He were really good. It's nice as well that he's passed on to your Thomas is now looking after croppers with Smooth, and your Tom's a lovely barber as well. It's nice that you've kept it in and you've passed that down. I mean, between you both, I mean, looking at it, it's like 80, 98 years that you've been in Barnsley between you both, which is it's absolutely unbelievable. Paul, looking at the researchers and stuff, and we've got a new follower tonight on Barbers Arms, which is Spider.
Right.
My dad's never come to watch any air shows I've done, whether I've been in London, wherever I've been. It's only the last couple of years. My mum's come to see us, and he's going to watch. He'll be watching tonight.
Yeah.
But finding out today, I didn't realise that you used to play against him at football, my dad.
Yeah, a few times, I think. Yeah, played against him. Yeah. Yeah.
And how were he?
He was a good player. Yeah. Yeah.
What
he
he
didn't muck about.
dirty?
Oh, it could be. It could be. It could rattle a few.
Who said earlier today that you're a proper dirty bastard?
Simon, I never said dirty. Never. All right, Ian, good evening.
Paul, I think that's you being diplomatic, isn't it, Paul?
Probably, yeah. It could skittle a few, but it could play as well, you know.
What we're drinking, boys, tonight? Boo, you're on red wine. Paul, what are you drinking?
Yeah. Merlot.
Gin and tonic. Gin and tonic, cheers.
Cheers, fellas. All the very
nice to
best.
have you on Barbers Arms.
Hey, Mars.
Good,
It's
yeah.
like being in tread on steroids.
Fellas, I know, Boo, you're not in the industry anymore, but you know you've still got it in your blood because of the shop and everything. Paul, what things changed out of the? You know, I mean, I know we're talking a lifetime of work here, and you know we've been in the industry a few years ourselves, and you know you bringing up that Boo the 8-track. I can remember that in the shop with my dad, and you know things have changed so much now within the industry. What's a good thing and a bad thing, and what do you miss that isn't there?
I think it's hard to tell, you know, right? Because I've been there that long. We've gone through different sort of times, you know. Started out working, cutting old fellas' hair. What got me about when I suddenly realised when I was 15, suddenly cutting a fella's hair that was 80-year-old, talking about his youth. And holding on to a notice, you know, while his granddad were in a pub, you know. And you're thinking, dear me, this fella's going back to 1880s, you know. And just talking to these old fellas that got me interested in local history and that, you know, right? And stories that they told, fellas that were in war, you know, little old fellas that come in, you know, that you think wouldn't say a bull to a goose, and you find out that they've run onto a beach in Normandy and that, you know. And it's unbelievable listening to these fellas talking and just getting to know people and the families, you know, through a lifetime of cutting hair. You start cutting granddad's hair, then the sons, then the grandsons, and then grandsons' kids. So you see a whole family grow up, and that's something that I think is good about our profession, you know, right? Because when you've got these loyal customers, these bread and butter customers that keep coming back to you all the time, they're not like customers, they're more like mates.
Yeah.
And I think that's an amazing thing. And how things have changed, I think, I think we're really lucky because we've had as bread and butter customers that stuck with us all this time. And I'm not sure it changed that much with that, apart from having these different troughs, like through miners' strike and things like that, you know, going through things like that. And even South Yorkshire County Council closing with all the officers that were around us at that time. And then coming on to what's on now, you know, with the terrible COVID thing, which has changed everything dramatically. We never used to take appointments and things like that, but now we're taking appointments. It's changed a hell of a lot.
Technology, Paul, you've moved. I mean, look, I never thought that Paul Wilkinson's or Croppers would have gone on Booksies or any booking apps, but it just happened, didn't it? It's had to happen. Boo, fantastic barber. Where I can remember, I think it was one of your first customers through your door. No disrespect to you, Paul, but one of your first customers through your door when you opened Croppers up. You and Smooth had this great kind of click together as a partnership that was, looking back, and I'm going to be really honest here, and I've said this a few times, when I was looking for a career, I realised that maybe 15, 16, I wasn't going to be a footballer. And coming into Croppers, if you remember, I used to come in after school sometimes. I wouldn't even have my haircut, but I'd sit on window and Calvey Orr, and I realised what you just said when you saw Wilkie's Datsun made you want to be a barber, an hairdresser. When I used to come into York, I went into hairdressing, but it was Croppers' kind of atmosphere and the way that the lads were together that I was intrigued by that lifestyle and that kind of. I didn't want to go welding or all like that. I wanted to be like you. I can't pay any bigger compliment than that. But you've done really well in your career with that, and you passed on to your Thomas. What happens now? What's Boo doing now for our viewers? What do you do now?
As little as possible, Simon. I left industry really because of my health. I'm having problems with me leg vascular-wise, but still keep me hand in. I was nipping back into croppers Saturday mornings now and again when lads were on holiday, ill health or whatever, but not been going in so much these days, but really miss it. Miss Smooth. Miss working alongside my son and lads. Oh, unbelievable. Brilliant atmosphere in croppers. Always was, always will be. I wouldn't change a thing, Simon. Nothing. If I were leaving school tomorrow, if I could be an apprentice barber again.
Oh, that's nice.
Would absolutely love it.
Yes.
If there's any young lads out there what are thinking, what can I do? Shall I go to university? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Get an apprenticeship. Don't matter what it is. Construction, industry. Just go for it, mate. You don't have to go to uni. Best job it will being a barber. Best job in the world. You meet friends, you meet, like Paul's just said about generations, family from, you start with and then they become dads and then the sons and then the grandsons. It's just one big knock on. Absolutely brilliant. Won't change a thing.
Do you know what, lads? Listening to you there, it strikes a chord with me with my experience in the industry with my dad. And, I think there's a lot of journeymen out there that chop and change and, they go here, there and everywhere. But loyalty and sticking with a certain brand or a certain shop or staying with a certain area, you don't get that continuity, do you? You don't see those people grow up. You don't see the carrying on. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We've traveled the world. Simon has, I have myself. But to come back to your area and know everybody there and you've cut everybody's hair, everybody knows you. It's a bit like, can you remember Cheers? Yeah. Can you remember the programme Cheers? Yeah. Everybody knows the name. You go back to your local pub or your local barbers. I don't think there's anything nicer than going back somewhere and start going back to your roots, isn't it? And I think barbershops are the hub of that. I love that. I think there's a lot of history and a lot of loyalty there. So it's great to hear. I'm glad you still both got the passion.
Can I just say something, Simon? Right. I remember some years ago we were out having a drink at Christmas, and we dropped on Bull and lads from Croppers, right, and. So we had a little chat and then we were going on to another pub. Bull shouts to me as, hey, you lot, oh, come here. So I sort of end at table and that. Bull just looked at me and says, hey, if it weren't for this fella, none of you would have a job. And I went out of that pub that night and it just suddenly hit me thinking, bloody hell, I've made a difference somewhere. Because if Bull went to start that job, then got croppers, them lads who were sat around him at that time wanted a job.
Paul, if you think about it, you are the godfather of Barnsley Barbering. Simple as, mate.
I'll put some cotton wool in my cheeks.
Paul, a thing come up here is, I think as you were developing in the late 80s, late 70s, 80s, it was the number one place to go to in Barnsley. I think our researchers tell us that you took it upon yourself to go on a seminar to Liverpool to improve your skills.
I did, yes, yeah.
And how did you feel when you came back from that? Were you as good as the lads in the shop? Or
no, I mean, I've never. The big thing that got me about it was that I went there to learn a little bit more about ladies' hairdressing, right? Not that we wanted to introduce ladies into the shop, but just different styles, with all these wedges and that were going off at the time and new romantic cuts and all that sort of stuff. I just thought I'd take myself off there. But funny thing about it, when I got there were a fella come in and wanted a beard trim. So I paid some money for this course. And they just said, anybody do a beard trim? I said, yeah, I can do it. So I suddenly got about 15 women around me showing them how to do a beard trim. So after that, they finished it and that, and fella said, well, do you mind trimming my hair a bit? So this woman were having a go at me saying, well, you know, barbers just sort of pick a pair of scissors up and chop away, don't they? I said, oh no. I said, because it were all this precision cutting at that time. And I explained to her that doing scissor over comb, you know, is precision, you know. And she said, well, I've been in hairdressing 40 years now. I never realised that, you know. So I just thought you chopped it away and things. So I thought, I've paid money out for this course and then I'm teaching other people how to do it. So, thank you very much. But I did get a certificate for it. Just to say that I'd done a course there. So, you know.
Boo, did he pass all that knowledge on to you when he came back from Liverpool?
No, we already knew. We already knew it. We already knew it, Simon.
In them days,
Simon,
Simon,
joking, Paul.
no, in them days we did. We used to go to hairdressing competitions and all sorts, didn't we?
Yeah, we used to go to Pudsey to finals, didn't we?
Yeah, you know, and just watch, because you can't be watching people to learn, can you? You know.
Look, watch and learn.
Yeah.
Paul, I was telling Simon, I was in New York a few years back, and I dropped on a kid. Paul Smith, his name is, from New York.
Right.
And he recognised me, my accent. He says a Yorkshire lad. We were sort of to bar, and he says a Yorkshire lad. Love that accent. And he was a Pudsey lad.
All right. Yeah.
And he says to me, he says, did you ever go to the Hairdressers to the Hairdressers Federation finals in Pudsey back in the 70s? I says, too right, I did. And he says, what's your name? And I said to him, I says, they call me Boo. And for some reason, he remembered. I mean, there's only one Boo, mate, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's only one Boo. There always will be. Yeah. And he remembered me from all them years, going back to the 70s. Well, I befriended him again. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Great stuff. Yeah.
I think that's the industry that we're in.
That's right.
I know you told that story. It was when the ash clouds were over, and I know a lot of people got stuck in different areas at that point. But it's just a fantastic industry to be in. I think, guys, you'll agree with me, reminiscing these two about the times. For everybody who's going to view tonight and in the week, in your thousands, guys, share this video between these guys as well. Absolutely amazing to have you both on tonight. Not so much for Gaz, because he obviously don't know you as close as I do. And I think, I said to Gaz earlier, I think at dinner parties or when you're out, I think you'll name drop sometimes that you used to cut my hair.
No. When we had some Simon.
I told you the ground, mate. It didn't matter what you put in Barnsley. These lads will ground you.
Simon, Gary's still got a good head of hair. Wilkie's still got a good head of hair. And me and you have got a good head of skin.
Yes, very much. Look at that skin. It's like fucking leather.
We've got a good head of skin.
Well, Paul, my dad sends all his best to you. He says you're a nippy little winger.
All the best to him, bud. Yes, smashing.
And Boo, he also sends his best to you as well. Obviously, he used to come into croppers with me and stuff like that. So, guys, I'm going to hand you over to Gaz, but it's been a privilege to have some of my own in Barbers' Arms tonight. I've been looking forward to it all week getting you both on, and I know you're both a bit like, I don't know if we should do this or not, but I'm glad you've been on. I hope you've enjoyed it. You're both gentlemen, and I know that we've known each other for years, but I have to say to you both, you're both mates as well to me. I love you both to death. I think you've both done absolutely amazing in your careers, and you're both in the industry, people might not know you. They will after tonight, but in my career, you're both legends.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.
Fellas, I can't wait till I can come up to Yorkshire and have a proper drink with you. We'll all meet up when all this madness is over.
Yeah. Out with Bo now and again.
Look forward to that, Gary. Yeah. We ought to catch up.
I think all of us as barbers, we've got an affinity anyway. We've all been in the same boat anyway. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Simon speaks very highly of you, so that's good enough for me. Thank you very much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. And this is what the show is all about. Local heroes who've worked in the community, still there, still doing it. I salute you, sir. Fantastic night. Thank you very much.
All the best.
God bless you both. Speak to you over weekend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Amazing. Really enjoyed it.
Funny. I tell you what, though, when you do get at work, it's funny how your career develops. When you're a young lad, the young lads want to come to you, and I find it even with my staff now, the older blokes gravitate to me, and you still have your younger clients, but they all want the good-looking young guys, or they think they're going to get the best haircut. But when you talk to fellas and when you get them in a conversation, I absolutely love the experiences that people have. When you meet guys like that, you could speak to them all night, can't you? It's absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, look, knowing them both, it's like you guys growing up. If you know a barber, you know your barber that used to cut, and it's so nice. But having them both on tonight, it was very sentimental to me. That I really enjoy. They've both been fanning about all week, panicking both of them about doing it right. And I've got to say, I absolutely loved having them both on there. I could have just carried on talking to them both all night. It was really, really funny. I've got to say, I hope you all like our new look Barbers Arms as well, the new screens that we have. I hope you're all enjoying the interaction there with the new things that were happening. And just a couple of announcements here as well. On the 26th of November, Wahl will announce around about, I'll come back with the times once I've spoken to Trevor, but we'll be announcing our new Wahl British Barbershop of the Year and their brand new Wahl British Barber of the Year. That'll be on the 26th of November. So we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be on Instagram Live, but also on this platform as well. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for that.
Honestly, I think what a catch for us to have it on here as well. But I've been very, very honoured to judge Wahl's British Barber of the Year again this year. Fantastic, excellent contestants, 6 fantastic guys. I thought the models were absolutely brilliant as well. That was for sure. They, every time we have a look at this, and because it's up close and personal on stage, you get a different perspective, like I did last year. But actually doing it there, sitting there, you look at the profiles, you look at the work they did, and you just know it's quite a humbling experience as well. That knowing that you actually going to probably influence who has that fantastic opportunity with Wahl for the next 12 months. They can never, ever take that away from them as well.
It's amazing. Guys, on the 27th, the night after, which is Barbers Arms, we have got the new Wahl British Barber of the Year and the new Wahl British Barbershop of the Year owner. They're going to be live on Barbers Arms on the Friday night, so we'll get a great opportunity to do that. Do you know what, though? I'm going to quickly go on this before you go on to your cocktail. I got a bit emotional today. I know we've spoke about this, about as we get older, and especially through lockdown, you think about stuff, and some stuff that wouldn't normally bother you bothers you. I was on a few kind of Christmas party and Christmas award meetings with Wahl. It's all going to be done virtually. And such a fantastic company I work for, Wahl. Things that they're doing for people who can't get into offices, that are working from home, that, you're going to be involved in everything that we do anyway, even down to the drinks, even down to the food will be sent to your house that everybody else is having, which is unbelievable. But I was thinking about the Barber of the Year and the Barbershop of the Year. Normally I'm selling internationally in front of thousands of people, and you've got a real big build-up. And it dawned on me, when I watched those videos, guys, and you've done the same, isn't it hard for them this year, the process that they've had to go through to whoever wins that this year? For me, it's even a bigger achievement than actually doing it live on stage. I know that's weird, but I just think it's a real toughie. And I got a little bit emotional thinking, oh, I wish I could give you this trophy in front of thousands, but I can't. It's going to be virtual, but hopefully we'll make it up next year. But it did get to me a little bit.
Do you know what I found when I did the judging this time? Charlotte sent me, and we sent everything back, and obviously we don't know who's won, but I thought it was probably harder for him this year because there was nowhere to hide. When you're on stage with yourself and all the judges, usually there's all you're either talking to one of the other contestants or we're looking round. All the spotlight is on that contestant for that 2 or 3 minutes. And then you move on and they're almost left on their own then. They can escape, can't they? They can escape the limelight. I know there's a crowd there, but you're in your own little bubble. But I thought when they had to work to the camera this time for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, you know, they had to talk it through as like you would a teaching class, if you like. They present the model and talk you through it. There was no hiding. They had to keep your attention all the way through. So I thought it was quite a bit harder this time for them. And I don't know if you agree.
I agree with you. It was a toughie, and me and you spoke tonight, and I think it's going to be very, very close. There's not going to be much between at least the top 3, and then even the 3 behind. You know, it's going to be so close. And I knew it would be. Video. I knew it would be. Some people sink or swim in front of a live audience. They've all been in their own environment, comfortable. We've got videographers. It was going to be tough to judge, and I think, and again, I'll go on that point. I think that then to win this is even better because of the tightness of what it's going to be. Without further ado, Gary, we're running a bit behind, but we've got your cocktail. And I know my dad's watching tonight, so Spider, first time you're watching this tonight, I hope you enjoyed Wilkie and that. Gaz is going to mix one of your favourite drinks without one ingredient, but I know you used to like a vodka screwdriver. I'll leave you to Gaz. I'm going to take a natural break. And Gaz, over to you for your cocktail.
No problem. Thank you very much, mate. Wow. So what we've done tonight is quite a simple one tonight. And to be honest, it's only because I quite like it. There's no other reason. It's a little bit of sunshine. Where the history of this drink comes from is California. Well, supposedly California. So, and that's debatable. There's always a story behind every drink. I think it's always a salesman's pitch. So we'll give you some background on that anyway. So we're going to use a Collins glass or an eyeball glass, whichever you want. We're going to fill it with ice. So this is fresh ice, not wet ice. This is straight out of the freezer. It's been in here just a little while, so just fill it up. So you can see we fill it up to the top. Dead easy, dead simple, easy to do cocktail tonight because it is the Harvey wall banger or a posh screwdriver. A screwdriver people remember from years ago, vodka and orange. This is a Harvey wall banger, so it's a little twist on a screwdriver, if you like. This was supposedly first done in Duke's Bar in LA. There is debatable who says it, invented it or whatever, but personally, I'd rather believe that Galliano, the guy who introduced the drink in, the late 1800s, I think it's probably a ploy by them to sell more drink, really. So they invented this. So without further ado, if you want to measure it out, you can measure it out. I always do it in different ways. You can do it in milliliters, you can do it in ounces. I just do it in parts usually. So 2 parts vodka, 1 part. So it's 2 parts vodka. I've used some special vodka tonight. This is a new one to me. And I know it should be, if you're a purist, you should use pure, untinted vodka. But we've got a JJ Whitley, a watermelon and lime vodka, just so it doesn't taste that much different anyway, if you're drinking it on its own. But don't use your most expensive vodka on this. You're mixing it, for God's sake. So, you're not getting the full taste of it. So we've got 2 parts vodka. Just tip that in there. I always measure these out just so it's easier. You can use a jigger if you want, you use your bar staff jigger. So that's a single measure, double measure, but we don't have to mess about with that then. Then we've got our orange juice. So freshly squeezed or nearest as you can, the most natural you can. So here we go. So there's 1, 2, 3. So 6 parts to 2 parts vodka, orange juice. Then we're going to just give it a little stir. There is all different ways you can do this as well. If you like it a little bit sweeter, we can put some natural syrup in there, natural sweetener, just a little bit on the top. I like that because I don't like it too tart. But the difference between a screwdriver and a Harvey wall banger is our Galliano. And Galliano is a mixture of, like I said, it was made 1890s, I think it was invented, and it's about 30 herbs and spices. It's got star of anise and different things in there. And what we do is we just use the back of the spoon, we float it onto the top of the drink. So it's about half a measure. So we've had 2, 6, and then half of the Galliano in there, just so it floats onto the top. Then we use, to garnish, we can just, and it's dead easy, like I said, everybody loves this drink, don't they? I think Simon was going to do it, so we've got an orange wheel on the end there, and 2 Masciano cherries. So it's a proper Dalboy drink. There we are. A little ray of sunshine in the darkness of what we're putting up with at the moment. Good health, everybody. Happy Harvey Wallbanger Day. Good health, mate. All the very best, Simon. All done.
All the best, pal.
Good
Cheers
health.
to everybody. You've done well this week, all of you. First week down. I've had no bad reports, people cutting hair or all like that. So it's all good. I'm sure there is some charlatans out there, but just behave yourselves. Come on. You're 21 days left. Let's get into it. I'm sure this second time round you're doing stuff that you should be doing. Oh, you listen to me and Gaz and get your targets ready and getting ready to get back in there in December and smash it. You deserve it, and it'll come to you if you do good things. 21 days, look after your families, spend a bit of time, get your Christmas. A lot of people have put the trees up, Gaz.
Oh, no, that's just wrong.
My mum's put a tree up today.
You put your tree up?
My mum's put a tree up today.
Oh, mother. It's so wrong. So wrong. You shouldn't not yet. I haven't even taken me window display out for Remembrance Day out of the shop yet. We can't have Christmas yet. We do in the shops usually, but home it's got to be the 1st of December. Otherwise, you're bored to death, haven't before they come down, aren't you? I know everybody's feeling a bit down and they need to put it up, but it'd drive me crazy if they were up this early. Because we keep them up the full 40, is it 12 days after Christmas? So we keep them 12 days after, so I can't have them up for 3 months. That'd kill me.
I normally travel off to America on the 2nd or 3rd of December, January, so I normally take mine down round about then, because I don't want to face it when I get back on 15th of January, but obviously this year might be slightly different, I'm sure. I don't think things will get back to normal. But great news this week with some hopeful signs there with vaccinations and stuff like that. Hopefully that comes to fruition. Fucking hell, we've got scientists all over the world and we should be getting here and get it sorted out. So hopefully that's going to be a good look, you know, to everybody who's working towards that, and hopefully we can get in there and make it a safe place to get back to work and some normality for 2021. We've got to keep positive and we're going to keep looking forward to some things like that. Guys, we've got Nick Erosio coming up from New York City. I'm really looking forward to this guy. I had a comment from one of my artistic teams saying his wife, Gina, she was the best educator that she had from the Aveda Academy that they used to run in New York City. And I'm really interested to see what Nick's got to say about New York, how New York is, because there's been lots of COVID stuff happening over there. They've had lockdowns, they've had opens, locked back down again. So it'd be great for our barbers and hairdressers to see what's happening in New York, but also as well getting the view of what's happened just after the presidential elections in America as well. I think that's going to be interesting to see what he's got to say.
I know. I mean, I know Nick personally. He's a lovely fella. He's previously from Manchester. He's ex-Manc. Well, not ex-Manc. I suppose you're always going to be from Manchester, aren't you? But he's an adopted American now. He's been out there for nearly 20 years. Fantastic premises. I mean, have you ever been to any of his locations out there?
No, I met him once in Chicago, but I've obviously been to New York, but I've not been to his locations. What they're like?
Honestly, I mean, when you talk about salons and training, he takes training to another level. They are the best, the most. You're almost lost for words. The scale. I mean, everything's bigger in America anyway, isn't it? But the scale of this operation is unbelievable. you'd never believe. I think he's got 3. I think like when I was out there, we did a class for his staff, and we've used his place for the BBA. Have used it for some filming and stuff. But it's absolutely and utterly fantastic place. He's in Tribeca, which was kind of a rundown. You know when places get like have a making, like Manchester, it's been reinvented, hasn't it? You know what I mean?
Like Shoreditch.
Yeah. I mean, this has happened in certain parts of New York as well. That used to be quite.
Tribeca's fantastic.
Yeah,
really...
so quite industrial and urban, and he'll give us the lowdown on this. But he's done so much in his career as well, so hard working. I've never met anybody that works so hard. So it'll be great to speak to him again in a minute. So hopefully he's just parking his car and he'll be on with us any second.
I think he's just joining us in Barber's Arms.
Nick, how are you, mate? Nick, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome to the Barber's Arms, mate.
Oh, thank you very much. Very nice to be with you guys.
What time is it over there, mate?
It is 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm guessing you're working with your mask on, are you?
Yes, I am. Take it off. Sick to death. Right.
Nick, you've still got your Manc accent, which is really nice. Are you red or blue?
I'm red all the way.
Get in there. United.
United.
You know what? I've just remembered what I don't like about you.
Yeah. Are you a blue?
No, I'm a Stoke fan, aren't I?
Oh, well, you don't like anybody then, do you? Eh?
Nick,
how are you, mate? Anyway, everything all good?
Good. Cheers. Got myself a drink.
Cheers, mate. All the very best. What are you drinking there?
Bit of Stella.
Oh, I love it. Manc having some Stella in New York. You can't
Just
get
before,
any better than that.
Just before my next client, might as well have a little drink while I'm in the pub with you guys, eh?
Hey, Nick, just for our viewers that's watching us as well, and guys, don't forget to share this as well. We've got Nick Arrojo from New York City in the house. Nick, how's the fallout happened from, obviously we've been glued to it, well, some of us have been, I've been glued to being in America quite a lot, and being working for an American company, watching the elections and stuff. What's the fallout now? How is it?
Well, listen, the way America is, it's 50-50, it's split down the middle. So in reference to the election, all the cities are blue and all the country's red. So the inner city is all blue. And if you go out if you go to New York, it's a Democratic hub. But if you go out into New York State, it's Republican. So all the inner cities are all blue and the rest of the country is red. And it's pretty much 50-50 split. And the politics is obviously massive. And obviously this has been a big, big thing. And, when Biden won, they were dancing in the streets last week. So.
Gary, when I watch the map, when we watch it in the UK and we watch like the Labour or the Conservative or the Liberal, you look at the map and when you look at the map, you think, oh, who's won because you can see it. I looked at the map of the US and it was sea of red.
Yep.
But
but the population density is in the cities and they're all blue.
Right.
So for example, this is how it works, and we're constantly learning, obviously, as I've lived here for a long time, and it's a very different system. And I came here when I really wasn't bothered about politics. When I was 28, I came here. It was like I didn't really bother so much about politics at that point. I'm a hairdresser, and but being here now for 20 plus years, I've really learned a lot more about the way in which this country operates and works. So if you imagine a state, they have a thing called the Electoral College. So depending on how big the state is or where the state is, they'll have more of the actual votes that count for the election. And then in reference to a state, let's say like New York, you might have, let's say, 10 counties, okay? And the counties might have, because a county might be big, because America's big, so it's a county might look big on the map, but has very few people living there. So what happens is somewhere like New York City, where it's got a high density of people, that you'll say, oh my God, there's no blue in New York, but because there's more people in that blue zone, which is the inner city, that's how they win that state. But what's happening is, because of Corona, what's happening is the landscape of this country and the demographic makeup of this country is going to change, because more people are moving out of and they're moving out into the country. So that's going to, so they'll take their politics with them and their views with them. So it will change.
Nick, I didn't know if you saw before you came on, but one of our artistic team out in China, Anna Elliott, she was trained by Gina, your wife, and she said she's one of the best educators that she's ever had.
Nice. Yeah. So,
and is your wife American?
She's American. She's from New Jersey. She worked for Vidal Sassoon here in New York. So that's where she kind of learned how to do hair.
Guys, you're still on mute.
Just quickly, before we go any further, can you just give our viewers just a little taste of what took you over to America in the first place, first of all, and then give us a quick bio of what you've done? Because I've bigged you up before you came on, but I've obviously missed loads of things out because you've done so many things. I mean, you were Sassoon trained and a Vader and everything else. But just give us a 2-minute bio of Nick and what took you to America.
Okay, so I've been hairdressing now for almost 40 years. I spent the first, 15 years working as a hairstylist. I worked for Sassoons. I worked for Weller. I was one of their top educators for Weller in Regent Street. Artistic director at the age of 21 for Sassoon, traveled all over the country. My dream was always to come to America. A company that I followed, Bumble and Bumble, brought me to the States. I got a job there to be in charge of their whole education when they just launched their product. And from there, I broke free. I spent 3 years at Bumble, pursued my own dream. It was a partnership business, a salon. I had a couple of partners. I was in that business for 4 years. And then I broke free 90 years ago and set up my own place, Arrojo. It was called Arrojo Studio. It was just a small boutique salon, 400 square feet. And from there, I've grown it into, before this pandemic, I grew it into quite a big empire with, 2 schools, 3 salons, 2 different lines of hair care products, 100% independently owned by myself. And obviously the pandemic has changed some of that landscape because we're now navigating in a whole nother world. So it's been a great journey, but it's certainly interesting right now.
Do you know what, Simon? I mean, I know you do the circuits. I've been over to the States a lot myself in the last 5 years, but I've never been any show anywhere that Nick hasn't been there. He's one of the most hardworking, true Manx I've ever met in my entire life, and he sells himself a little bit short there. You've been on TV shows. Not only have you got your product line as well, but your razors as well. You're world famous for your razor education and razor cutting.
Thank you.
The one thing that I will admit, I will say is your passion has never wavered. When I met you have you still got your Soho school? And
I've got my Soho location. Yeah.
Yeah. So we met you there, and we were very privileged to come over there and see you a couple of years ago and use your premises and do some training over there. And your staff, absolutely fantastic. What actually when you were over there, you were almost living, I know it's a cliche, but you almost achieved the American dream, didn't you? I mean, you went over there, you told me your story, and that was amazing.
I came over here with $1,500 and a dream, and I've managed to kind of surpass all of my expectations. I'm completely autonomous. I mean, there's a greatness to being autonomous, but there's also a challenge to being autonomous. It all flows to you. I built a multi-million-dollar business. I sell my products to salons across America. I do education. I've built, 3 different facets of the industry, really. One's education, one's hair care products, and one is obviously my salon system.
Nick, obviously, when I've travelled to New York, one of the things I love about New York is obviously the hustle and bustle of it, especially where we stay. You know, if you're in Brooklyn or downtown, it's an amazing place. Unless you've been to New York, you can't explain it. I think it's your first time I ever went, especially when you get to the airports. You think, oh my gosh. What it's just like, because I think some New Yorkers come across, they're so direct, they can almost be rude, and obviously traveling to different cities in America, which I've been lucky enough to do. And obviously we're based just outside Chicago, so I spend a lot of time in Chicago. It's a different city completely to New York. I'm going to ask you here though, which is completely off the cuff in terms of like hairdressing or barbering. It's nothing to do with that. What's your favourite pizza place in New York?
I don't even have, but if I did have one, it's called Adorale.
Adorale.
And it's on Hudson Street, close by. Yeah. And there's Arturo's, it's a great pizza joint.
Arturo, that's one of my favourite ones. Arturo.
So there's two good ones close to work. But living the dream means that you just keep on working, so you don't have too much time for hanging out and going for pizza.
You talked earlier that you said you had a multi-million-dollar business. How's COVID changed that? What's actually happened to Nick Erosio then? How's it affected? Are you still being restricted on what you can do? What's happening in New York at the moment, COVID-wise?
Oh, you know what? It's like a meteor's hit my brand. A meteor's hit New York and completely changed the landscape. So, when you talk about a big business, you build your business. You go from a small business, and every year as you're growing the revenue, you're adding things. So you build it. I've become a businessman because of the success that I've been able to have. And every year, you're like, okay, we did $1 million this year. We made this much money. I can spend this money on this. Next year it's 2 million. Let's say next year it's 3 million. So you build, So one of the biggest things that happened for me was, the cost of rent. Yeah. So my rent pre-pandemic was $200,000 a month plus. Okay, for the whole gig. So when you've got that kind of level of rent, and then all of a sudden, you shut down and you're on the hook for 200. I was literally $7,000 a day in rent, and I was closed for 3.5 months. And when I come back to reopen, when we were allowed to reopen, all the staff quit, everybody. I lost 80% of the team. So now, you're looking, and then the landscape of New York is that everybody's left. So all the clients have gone. And then as far as people working in New York, which a lot of people would live, let's say, like in New Jersey, they would work in New York. Now everyone's working at home. So now no one's coming to New York. So we're down to like 20% of what we used to do before the pandemic. Plus, you've got all of the debt that you have through the pandemic, and and ultimately I closed the location. I said I got to give the keys back. So I got to navigate that as that comes back at me, because the landlords don't just let you leave and say thanks a lot, Nick. So ultimately, I'm fighting for my livelihood here. I'm fighting for my life, and New York as such, it doesn't look good. It's a ghost town. It doesn't look good. You got less than 10% of the workforce is here. So New York's a vertical city. You've both been here, you know it. So what happens is, when I say it's a vertical city, it's pretty much, it's 2 miles at its widest and 12 miles at its longest. But we're really looking at living in a 1 mile to like 4 mile radius. That's really where, the action is. So imagine that you have all of these buildings, like I'm on the ground floor of a building that would probably, this square mile would get 250,000 people pass through it every day. And that was about 4 years ago. I bet you now you're lucky if you've got 10,000 people. So from 250,000 down to 10,000 people. People are not coming back. Yeah, all the restaurants are closing, Broadway's closing, tourists are not allowed in. Even if I leave this city, I've got to get COVID tested, I've got to quarantine when I come back, which I can't afford to do. So my life has gone 180, where it was going one way to going 180 the other way. And now it's a question of, you know, for me, it was a question of trying to get back into business. I had to change the landscape changed, so I changed what I was doing, and I'm continuing to navigate. But you know, it's I got my eyes looking at what the future is, but I definitely know that we're not moving back to where we were, because where we were does not work anymore, and it doesn't work here. And I think also that the hairdressing industry, the one that I kind of grew up and built within, has completely changed too. So I think I've got to look and see how that future is going to be. But, you know, you got to be very careful making quick decisions, because, you know, you don't know what the right decision is, and you don't have too many options when you've got looming costs and not enough revenue coming in. You know, and everything affects itself. So what happens is, just to give you like the rawness of it, you walk away from a lease and you have a school. I have a school. So I walk away from a lease, and my school was tied to, I had two schools, I collapsed it back into one. But now the debt that I owe to that school, to the old landlord, is coming with me. And now what happens is it puts my school in jeopardy, because they can potentially say it's not a viable business because he owes too much money. So these are the challenges that we have to, you know, navigate. Yeah, and nobody knows the answer, because they change the rules all the time. So it's just a question of, you know, trying to navigate through this crazy time. You know, we're probably going to go into another lockdown like yourselves. Obviously, we went through an election, so the election's mental, and now we're looking at, you know, coronavirus cases, you know, blowing up all over the country. We're like, I mean, like a week ago, we were reporting in America, they were reporting 80,000 a week ago per day. Now they're at 140,000 per day in less than 7 days. And it's not going away. So who knows what the future is going to be?
Do you know what, Nick?
That's why I'm going to keep drinking, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I'm going to have to Valium, I think, on that, guys.
Yeah. I think you know, everybody's in the same boat, and you just hit it on the head. But I think what we've got to realize with government and with you know, the people that make the decisions, we've got to live with this, haven't we? We haven't got closed down. We've got to live with this. It's not going away anytime soon. You know, it's been proved. I don't know about you out there, but it's been proved that we're not adding to the R rate. You know, which is the reinfection rate. Our sector has been proved that we're not adding to that. Yet we're the first to be cut down. That we were the first to be closed again.
It's because we don't have enough of a voice, and it's because no one's defending us, and it's because we've just been overlooked. And the minute that you think about social distancing and doing hair, any kind of personal care service, a politician just flicks it away. The other thing is that when it comes to importance of career and cost and benefit to the community, cheers, you know, hairdressers typically don't necessarily report what they make. So now we're being taken about as seriously as this, and it's very easy for us to become a kitchen career. Yeah, and I think that's what happened. You're shut down I was shut down for 3.5 months. Employees were at home getting paid more money to be home than they were to be in work. And then, you know, if somebody calls you and you want to go and do a quick haircut, you can do that, and you get raw cash in your hand. You know, so I think that at the end of the day, when it came to reopen, it was just too long. And I think we're all in this new realization that the world's changed. It changed for everybody. And a lot of people decided to reflect and change certain things. But like, if you have a business, you've got to try and get the machine going again before you can navigate how to turn it. Otherwise, you have to blow it all up and then start again. And then you have to say to yourself, do we blow it all up and start again? And you know, to build this kind of brand that I've built, you know, I've given, you know, a big chunk of my life to it, but now I've got some real battle scars and I don't know how we're going to come through this, because there will be legal things that the government's going to have to get involved in, because it's not business as usual. For example, if the government tells you you have to shut down, so you've got no revenue coming in, then how can you be expected to stay open? I mean, I was looking at a situation where I reopen with $1 million worth of debt. Now, I don't know about you, but there's not that much profit in this business.
Yeah.
So in order to pay $1 million worth of debt, you've got to get $2 million, because you've got to pay tax on the profit. So, and I'm at my age, I was looking, I'm thinking, you know, Nick, you're just going to have to navigate this. And let's take it week by week, day by day, month by month. So I do have, you know, visions for my future, but I also am kind of looking at the terrain. I'm like in the middle of, I'm in the middle of the mountains here. And there's like, you know, steep, you know, slopes and valleys, or whatever you want to call it, you know? And right now I'm kind of trying to climb up a hill, and we'll see when I get to the hill and what's going to happen when I get to the top of that next hill.
Feeling your pain, pal. I think it's one of the most honest interviews that we've done on this. Obviously, we've interviewed people in our first lockdown in the UK, home and abroad. Then we've interviewed people out of the lockdown, and then obviously second time lockdown. It's
you guys are locked down again now. Yeah?
I think listening to your pain is listen, guys in the UK, guys in India, guys all across the world, by in America, when you go to a size of Nick's business, the bigger you are, the harder sometimes that this is, and I really feel your pain, mate. There, I mean, Nick, just talking, trying to. I know exactly what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
And I cannot give you any words of inspiration at the minute to say to you, because we're not in control of this virus, and I think in America it's twice worse than what it is over here. Is there like a group of expats that you speak to?
No.
There's no expats that you like involved.
Not that I don't. There's not. I mean, I like English people. I like, but I don't. I never came to. I'm not the guy that. When I came to America, I didn't really have any English friends around me. Yeah, like you see a lot of people that like it's English. Now I've got English people that work for me. Yeah, I got Paul, who's a great guy from the UK. Paul Merritt. I got my brother Andrew. I got my best.
Oh, is Paul Merritt working for you?
Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
Oh wow!
So I got like friends around me, but yeah, I'm working. It's full on. It's 24/7, and I don't really hang out with. I don't have a crowd. I really don't have a crowd. It's like me, my kids, my wife, and my life. My life is my job. So,
if you don't mind, I'm gonna have to take a shot, guys.
Yeah. To you, Nick. Anyway.
Oh, cheers! I'll just take my. I can't do a shot. I'll do my Stella. Cheers, guys.
Nick Arrojo.
Nick, just from your education point of view, has that gone tits up as well, or?
Oh yeah. But you know what? There's. You've got to look for the silver lining, and you've got to move forward, because otherwise you're just paralyzed, and then you're in no man's land. So, I've done everything, and I continue to do everything to get back to a slice of normalcy. I don't live in fear of this virus, period. I know that it exists, and I know that it's a killer, but I know that for the most part, young people and healthy people will succeed, but we have to take care of the rest of the community, and that's really the MO on this. Yeah. When it comes to what was he saying? Somebody's walked in on me. That's what they do. They come walking in on me. Education. So imagine that I put classes on, but no one can come because they're not allowed to. They've got a quarantine. So if you were to come to New York next week, and you were to come for a 2-day class, you got to come 4 days earlier so you can quarantine to do it. So it's unrealistic. Yeah. So there's nobody coming in for education. One of the things that I have done is I've just set up a digital studio in my Brooklyn location. So we are now doing high definition, high quality live education where we can interact like this. And I have a stage and a platform, 4 cameras, and we're doing hands-on classes with people from their salons or from their homes. And
That's good then.
you know, it's a changing business model. But last week, or this week, it's Friday. This week I've done every day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, actually Thursday. Every day this week, I've been doing live education online. So we're turning the machine around a little bit. And you know, technology as such is so good that I see there's a really bright future with the technology that I think that, you know, we have our like digital assets, things like a thing called Brooklyn Live that we do every Thursday. We do a thing called Nick at 9, which is a conversation just like, you know, I've been busy also trying to be a voice for the hair community here in America, especially when the salons were shut down and everyone was, you know, so depressed. Of course, you know, I have friends whose salons were closed down for 5.5 months in California. So I've tried to be as vocal. I've had the presidents and attorneys on Zoom chats, on Insta Lives, just trying to kick up as much, I suppose, as much noise about trying to let us get back, because in America, we're a licensed trade. In America, our license puts us in a different special place, or at least that's what we all thought. But we realized that the license is kind of worthless, unfortunately, because we were not seen to be, we were seen to be, you know, as my hat says, unessential, you know? So it's like, we've been trying to fight for the, I mean, I've been on national TV trying to, you know, kickstart as much noise as possible to get salons reopened and for us to have a voice. And I've met a lot of good people. So education, I think, is obviously great. The biggest challenge that we have that I foresee, which is what I will be addressing next year, is how to turn education into more dollars, because everybody gives it away.
Yeah, too much free education on YouTube. I mean,
much free stuff.
Before the lockdown, you know, we speak to a lot of barbers in different countries, especially European countries, is where did you learn to do your training? I did it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it does my fucking nothing. So I think there's from a brand point of view, there's certain things that we need to do as Wahl, and I hope you use Wahl clippers, but there's certain things that we need to do as a brand free of charge, but there's certain things that you have to stop and people have got to pay. And it's about how you do your platform. The best ones, you know, if you've got a really nice camera angles, you've got a real nice platform to put it through, then I think, and your content's fantastic and it's refreshed all the time, I think there's a massive market. Guys, if you're all watching this as well, on the, it's coming up now on the screens, you can see Nick's website and things like that to follow Nick and his Instagram. You can follow Nick Arrojo and see what's happening in New York, especially our American viewers that are watching. If you're looking to do a career in hairdressing or barbering, you can follow Nick on his Instagram and his website and find out a bit more about what's happening in New York City. Nick, we always finish off Barbers Arms with our guests. I don't know if you've been watching Barbers Arms.
No, but I saw a little bit today and it's awesome. And I love being in the pub. It's my favorite place to be.
And it looks fantastic. We finish off with a quick fire questions to our guests.
Okay.
To find out a little bit of personality. I've got to say before I do this though, because this is a bit of candor, but I have to say a real honest interview. You're a Manc, you're from the UK and you've made absolute millions in the US and you started off with $1,500. You know, I think hats off to everybody who's viewing this tonight across the globe. What an ambassador, what a fantastic entrepreneur you've been to this industry. And congratulations from everybody in the UK to actually go to New York City and fucking smash it. I know you're going through tough times at the minute, mate, but you'll come through it because you're a grafter.
I'm gonna use my hardworking Mancunian mentality to graft through, and I'm gonna be able to, you know, like you can get into the Old Trafford, you'll be able to sneak in. I'll be able to sneak my way through. I'm gonna have to dodge and weave. Luckily, I'm from the streets, so hopefully it'll help me.
Nick Arrojo is from the Barbers of the Theatre of Dreams.
That's right.
Do you know what though, Nick? I think sometimes like people like yourself who non-stop, like I said, everywhere I've ever been in the States, you've always been there as well on stage. Yeah. I think you're, you know, an inspiration to us all, but almost your own worst enemy as well, because not only do you not sit on your laurels, but everything you do, you invest back into. You want to be bigger and better, and still invest into your company. Yeah. And I think when that happens, especially all of us, you know, we don't sit there and just take it easy, but, you know, we can never foresee this happening. But I think as hairdressers and barbers and educators, there's always tomorrow. We can always make money tomorrow. But this has been unprecedented. I hate using this word, but this has been unprecedented with COVID because it's changed the landscape, like you said. And we've always done well in recession, haven't we, as an industry, because we've always managed to come back and bounce back. Yes. But the landscape has been changed to a point now beyond our control that we've never been. We're not in control of what's happening, really. And I think that's the most scary part, isn't it? You know, yes, if we can't get that before.
But we've got to look for the positives.
Yeah.
As much, you know, so it's, you know, you can kind of feel bad, you can feel sad, you can have those quiet moments where you go, fuck. And you can think about, as I did think about it, the very first time I was signing my salon, the rent was $8,000, and then it went to 12, and then it went to 50, and then I was like, went to 75,000. And you at the back of your mind, you know, stories of people that were like so big, but then something bad happened and they lost their business, because the bigger you are, the quicker it is to fall. So we know all of that. So the only thing before I get into the quick fire is to tell your viewers that you can't live in fear. You have to look at your journey and say to yourself, where are you at and what have you got? What have you got left on and what's important to you? So for me, you know, when I've navigated my business, at 47, 48, when I signed that new space and opened up that second school, I was like, you know, Nick, you're just still too young, and it's worth taking the chance. It's worth taking the chance to see whether you can push through the other side. Just keep following your dream, keep doing it. Now, you know, it's obviously painful, but the good news is, if there is any good news, while I've been doing this, I've always had that in the back of my mind that shit could hit the fan, right? So I've managed to save. So it's like invest in me, which is investing in my business, and investing in me, which is making sure I've got some equity so that when or if something bad happens, I'm not caught with my pants down. Now, I could never have imagined something to shut down my business for 3.5 months. And now I've got to navigate through it. But guess what? There are bigger problems in the world, and I think I'll be able to navigate through this one. So I'm optimistic, and I could tell everybody that, you know, follow your dream. Don't be too conservative, but be conservative enough to know that if you're successful today, it doesn't guarantee you success in 5 years. Yeah. But you know what? If you got to the place where you were successful, you have to realize and recognize that you'll still probably be able to continue on that journey, but just be ready, because, you know, it's the young kids coming through. Yeah, hairdressing is not an it's not an old career. There's always going to be somebody young, somebody new, somebody hip, somebody this, somebody that. But that's okay. We just have to make sure that that we're relevant, focused, surround ourselves with the right people to keep us positive, and encourage people to fulfill their dreams, because your success or my success will come from the people around me. So even though, for example, a lot of my team have left and, you know, they leave to do their own thing, they're all going to help support me, even though I might not see it day to day, but my legacy will be helped by them because of what I've invested in them for. So don't live in fear, but, you know, kind of follow your dreams and take it a good shot. For me now, at the end of my journey, and they say my journey is like, this is the third chapter. Yeah, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my early 50s. I'm like, I got a lot of shit to deal with, but let's see where we're at in about 3 years from now, and see whether we're still smiling.
Fucking hope you get through this, pal, because you're in this situation. It's a great story, mate. And, you know, there's lots of massive positive comments coming through. I'll read you one here from Carl Smith. Great inspiration, Nick. Under the cosh, but so positive and always a smile. And that's a big compliment from all of us in the UK.
Wow,
these
nice.
are some comments coming in, mate. They're all coming in. Follow your dreams, believe in yourself, and don't ever give up. It's pinging as I'm speaking to you. So
Awesome.
you really touched a lot of people's people's thoughts tonight. And I think I have to say this, don't take this the wrong way, but guys in the UK, if you think some of your problems are hard, listen to this guy tonight. He's got a big mountain to climb, but positive, talented, an amazing brand. So well done, bro.
Amber.
Thank you for that. Cheers, Nick.
Nick Erosio, New York City. What's your favourite food?
Indian.
Is there any nice Indians in New York?
Fantastic Indian food in New York City. Yeah, and my mate Dominic cooks the best curries, and he takes care of me. So yes.
Dominic, a proper traditional Indian name. What's your favourite drink?
Vodka.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Stella. What's your favourite music?
House music all night long. I used to DJ at the Hacienda, so DJ'd for a long
place.
time.
I only went there twice, but what place? Where's your favourite destination?
New York City.
Wow. And we have Nick Arrojo from Nick Arrojo in New York City. Ex-Mank, but living the dream ish, and battling through what's happening around the globe. But obviously, a lot of people would love to be where you are in New York City with such a fantastic brand. Nick, who would be your ideal dinner date?
Oh. Donald Trump.
Okay.
Because you know what? That would be a hell of a lot of stuff to deal with.
Nick Arrojo having a beautiful Indian meal, drinking a nice little vodka chaser, listening to some house music in his favourite Indian restaurant with Dominic serving his food in New York City, his favourite destination. And he's doing all this with the one and only ex-president of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. Nick Arrojo from New York City. It's been a pleasure to have you on Barbers Arms. Thank you very much, bro. God bless to you. Keep the flag flying.
You got it. I'm going now. I've got a men's haircut to do right now. Catch up with you guys later. Be well. I'll see you in New York, if not sooner, maybe in London. Take care, guys.
Nick, been a pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. You're a star. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Wow.
If I ever moan about anything ever again, slap me with a big fish.
I know. I'm saying, I fucking enjoyed tonight. If I were in pub tonight with you, and we'd had them in, and two lads from Barnsley, who I've really, over years, known them for years, and they've always been their stalwarts. Really enjoyed having them in, and then having him in. Do you know what, Gaz? Listen to everybody who's listening to me tonight. Gaz has just said it there. If you think you've got a few problems out there, you've just got to multiply it by 1 million. He needs fucking lottery this weekend.
Do you know what,
amazing.
though? Honestly, I wish I could have taken you to his locations. They were, like I said before he came on, and I didn't know the accent. I do follow Nick anyway. I mean, I've heard that he said that on the news channel over there. He gave free haircuts. They were doing free hair for all emergencies and everything. He's done loads of things. He's been on TV doing loads of things, but I didn't realise.
Guys, you're muted. Gaz has gone for a minute, guys. Oh, is he back?
I'm back. So you didn't hear any of that then?
Yeah, we heard a bit. Go on, carry on.
But what I was just going to say, I didn't realise the extent of how how it was hurting businesses in you, because he's not going to be on his own. That's going to be the same for everybody out there. You know, any big business out there in New York is itself. But I wish you could have just seen him at the height of what his operation was, because I've never been in an academy like it in my entire life. It's absolutely beautiful. It's on a scale, it's huge. But not only that, he got such great people around him. He's such a worker. He's taking clients, he's taking classes, he's doing everything. You know, it's just unbelievable how. For some reason, I keep getting off. I don't know what's happening, but all I can say is what an absolutely lovely guy. When I was out there, he looked after us, and you know, it's staggering how much money you can lose in such a short period of time, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm just taking a minute. I'm just like, I don't know about you people. I'm seeing loads of people here. Our usuals, Mary and Gary and Vagabonds and Carl Smith and Alison and Carl. And, you know, there's loads of people there that watch us every week. And I know we get thousands of followers, but we've got a real nice cult following. And I know you're all like, it's like your Friday night in and you all talk to each Sherelle and everybody who watches us and Rob and guys, are you in? I was like, I'm blown away tonight. I've been a fan tonight. I've been a fan of the Barnes lads. I think they were brilliant tonight. I've always had the we love your accent wherever I've gone in the world. The Yorkshire accent's a funny accent anyway. But their accent tonight were even stronger than mine, and the funny, quirky little ways. But having Nick on tonight as an expat out there, what he went out to do with not a lot of money and to build a multi-million-pound business. First of all, take that as one bit. Fucking amazing to do what he's done. Just forget COVID at minute. To go out there with not a lot of money and to build what he's built. Wow.
Yeah.
Scripting factor stuff.
But the thing is, when you know Nick and how hard working he is, but he'd had the grounding as well at the same time. He had the tools to make money. And I find that, you know, I've worked all over America. And if you've got the tools to make money and you'll work hard enough, you will make a lot of money in America as well. You've seen it. You know what the system is out there. And it's a pat on the back when you make money rather than people being suspicious on how you've made it.
Absolutely. But then to hear the second side of the story, which is the COVID, you know, aftermath and still living through it. And, you know, to listen to some of the difficulties he's having at the minute and some of the financial restraints that he has on his business at the minute, again, to do it positively. I mean, this guy's just been doing clients before he's come on here. He's like probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. He's probably working till 10 o'clock tonight. But to do clients, then come on and do that, and then go back to do clients.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's off.
Do you know what though? And I'm not saying, you know, it's the best. You know, the bigger you get, the harder you fall. It's always that saying. But we ought to remember as well, people locally and what we're doing in this country. It's all relative, isn't it? You know, $1 million to Nick could be 100,000 to somebody here, or even 10,000, even £1,000. You know, it's all relative. We could all be in the same. Rachel said it before. You know, we're not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat. You know, he's got a lot to lose, and he's lost a lot of money, but it's relative to what he does. You know, and it's the same with all the businesses, small businesses in this country as well. You know, and all our viewers. The difference between going bump, you know, going under and not being able to pay your bills could be £1,000, 10,000, could be 100,000.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, it's just the scale on Nick. You know, where Nick's scale has come in. It shocks us because you think, oh my God, imagine being in debt for $1 million. You know,
straight away within 8-9 weeks. You just listen. I'm completely in awe of what I've heard tonight. I've loved tonight's show. I think it's been a real amazing guest that we've had on tonight, and it really fetches you back to home, doesn't it, Gaz? Just where we are at the minute. You know, we're in 1 day's lockdown, but this is still about. So, guys, I stress again, thank you to our NHS who are dealing with packed hospitals at the moment. And that's my Yorkshire accent there coming out. Hospitals.
Hospitals.
And I like to say curry as well. So, you know, seriously, thank you to our NHS. Again, our soldiers on the front line with everything that they're doing. Hats off. You know, fucking let's fetch it back. Clap the back. You know, let's just back off what the government said. Get back. Let's, you know, we don't go out and clap anymore on a Thursday. It got a bit monotonous, but in terms that everybody was saying, no, it's every Thursday. I used to love going out and putting music on. I used to put You Never Walk Alone on. I used to play it on my system while I was clapping them. And I'd always have a tear in my eye every Thursday night. But thank you to everybody that's working in the NHS, that's doing everything to do this. Let's try to get back on the 3rd of December. Back into salons and as barbershops. Hope tonight's been a bit of an inspiration in terms of what's happening over in New York. Hope that me and Gaz have fetched a bit of light to some of the global stuff that's happening. Hope you've enjoyed our candor. Hope you enjoyed Boo and Paul Wilkinson from Barnsley. It just shows you that no matter what age you are and whatever, there's still, you know, Wilkie's 60-odd-year-old and he's still working in his shop. Fantastic. Some of the stuff there was superb. And, you know, we've been watching some videos today. I think Gary Jackson said it today. Gaz from Ireland, in Hollywood in Ireland, you know, support your local businesses when you reopen back up. But before you open back up as well, don't go on Amazon and buy some products, styling products or hairdresser. Look at your local barbershops and your hairdressers. Look at what they're selling. Look at the Facebook. Look at the stylist that or the hairdresser that owns the shop. Look at her or his Facebook, and have they got some products to sell? Have they got some hairdryers to sell? Clippers to sell? You know, support your local businesses at this time. I think that's kind of me done tonight, guys. I've really enjoyed tonight. I've had a nice drink with you. I've enjoyed it in the bar tonight. With 21 days left, we need to be positive. We need 2021 to be fucking massive. So these 21 days are going to be crucial that we do the right things, everybody. If we can do that, get through it, get back, have a good fourth quarter. There may be a few lockdowns in January, but I think vaccines and everything, things are looking up for us. So let's just keep good, keep positive, and watch the dailies, watch me and Gaz. I'm going to try and do... Gaz, we're in the hot tub today. I've got to top that tomorrow. It might be nasty. So just tune in for that tomorrow on the dailies. I'm going to pass you over to the Gazmeister to finish off tonight's show. But guys, God bless. 21 days left. I'll see you all next Friday. Don't forget to share. Love you all to bits. Good night.
Cheers, Simon. Well, you know, obviously I mirror all those sentiments, but there's just a couple of things I want to cover just before we go. I think you covered some of them. Ireland. Sorry for your pain, guys. I know you should have gone back. Hopefully you should have gone back today, but they got the numbers wrong. I've seen the posts, and somebody can't count in the Irish government. I think there's more to it than that, and I think there's some infighting there. Unfortunately, you're not going back this weekend. You're going back next weekend. So on the 20th, I'm thinking, and then hospitality go back on the 27th. So sorry for your loss and for your mind. But, you know, we got to... Whether it is political, hopefully it isn't. It's for the good of the people. I'm not sure, but you know, guys, we just got to take it, haven't we? Again, there's a really poignant bit today. A letter's gone out from the NHBF on behalf of all the major stakeholders. So the BBA, Hairdressing Council, Barber Council, Harvey, MH Fed, you know, Babtac, and all the beauty side of things as well. It's gone to government to actually fight. It's quite apt, really, because Nick brought something up today that said we weren't taken serious. They are licensed over there, supposed to be licensed, and they haven't been taken serious. But we aren't licensed, and we're still not being taken serious. So I don't know what the answer is. We should be, we want to be, and we want to have one voice. So hashtag Hair and Beauty United has sent a letter to the government. It's seeking assurances to guarantee that we go back on December the 3rd, so we don't have the debacle of Ireland. You know, you cannot say to a sector or an industry, you keep them hanging on until the night before to let them know if they're going back to work or not. It's not fair, it's not ethical, it's not professional, and it's downright rude, really. People are booked in Ireland to have their haircuts tomorrow, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week. Now it's going to be next weekend. You cannot do this to us. So this letter, 2-page letter, has gone to government, fighting our corner, and it's guard against future damaging closures, because there isn't a level playing field. It looks like, reading between the lines, I've been watching a lot of the news from government especially, that if we do go back on the 3rd, which is, you know, debatable, there might be extra precautions put in place, extra limitations or regulations put in place. We should not, okay, if we even go into level tier 3, we should not be closed down as a sector. I know Nottingham took the unprecedented step of closing all hairdressing and barbering when government, central government, said that we don't have to be closed. So we need this assurance from government as well, because we haven't, you know, added to the R number. I know we're on a bit of a soapbox here, but this is just a finish. I'm just letting you know what's happening on our behalf. And we've all signed this. So Jackie and myself on behalf of the BBA have signed it. It's gone to government. It went live today at midday, so it's now public knowledge. We knew about this yesterday from the NHBF, so we salute you for that and fighting our corner. I know Keith is really behind it as well from the Hairdressing Council, Barber Council as well. A few bits from the BBA. Digest is open, available next week. That's going to be in, so great read there. And, you know, we've had record numbers today, 50,000 dead and huge increase in cases. Please do the right thing. Don't let it be our industry that lets the side down. There's only 5 sectors at the moment, I think, that are properly locked down, and we're one of them. All the others are doing their own thing. They're in and out of people's houses. Don't let it be us that lets the side down. We don't want the finger pointed. So from me, plus point is you're going to see some more stupid dailies, hopefully from us. Simon's going to try and outdo me every time, but I've got them all penciled in, mate. They're all penciled in for the next week, so we're going to have some fun. Love you all to death. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody around the world. Good health. Love you. Love you, Simon.
Right, God bless everybody. We'll see you all next week on Barbers Arms, but tomorrow's my daily arms, so tune in tomorrow, but we'll see you all next Friday. Good night, God bless.
Looking forward to it. See you next week.